Hey guys, Retro Horror back for a review of a classic. I I consider this a giallo slasher film as much as a slasher film, but the Grindhouse epic Pieces. Grindhouse releasing did this, and it's just a. I just love Grindhouse. I sure hope they don't stop putting up. Yeah, there's been some talk about maybe one more release and they're going to stop. I sure hope they don't because they really are my favorite. I mean, I haven't watched the I Drink Your Blood. I've got it. I haven't watched it yet, but I intend to. I sure hope that's not the end. But this release, as is all their releases, is amazing. Uh, so for those of you that don't know Pieces, it came out in 82, 83, and it was really part of that 42nd Street, um, not Renaissance, but kind of the heyday of the 42nd Street, the late 70s and mid 80s. New York's 42nd Street really promoted and all these grindhouse type horror movies, and Pieces is one of those. The promotional materials for Pieces are fascinating in of themselves. There's a bunch of still galleries that show all the different ways that they advertise this film to catch your eye from the street, and fascinating, fascinating. The movie itself is just a roller coaster ride. You've got Susan George and the husband and wife team of Susan George and Christopher George, who Christopher George plays a cop trying to solve these murders, chainsaw murders. Uh, and at the start of the film, basically what's happened is a boy, through matricide, kills his mother, and then later on he's intent on basically rebuilding her, almost like Frankenstein. So he's killing off all these women and cutting the body parts up, and then piecing together a woman to replace his mother. Ludicrous story. I mean, don't try to spend too much time chasing it down. But the thing about this movie is all the set piece kills, and there's just a bunch of them. There's a scene where a woman in a shower is probably the most famous scene. She's in a shower and she's basically sliced up by this chainsaw. And apparently they used a real pig and sliced it to get the most true effect they could. There's also a scene of a stabbing on a waterbed, which was very violent, including he kind of goes through the back of her head, through her mouth with the knife. Very Italian style, European style. And this film was directed by a Spanish director, who the same guy that did Slugs directed this film, and it's got all the kind of the giallo tropes and the Italian gore that you see in the Fulci films and others. So it stays true to that kind of mindset. The musical score is fantastic. I think Fabio Frizzi was part of this musical score. I loved it. I mean, this film also has probably the two greatest, one of the greatest screams of all time, with Linda Day George screaming, "Bastard, bastard," over and over and over. It's fantastic. It's one of the greatest screams of all time in horror history. And then you have the greatest ending of all time, when just when you think the film is over, a dead body reaches up and grabs this guy by the balls and claws his balls till he starts bleeding. I mean, it's a thrill ride. It's no end. And if you haven't seen it, you need to stop this video and go see it. If you don't have this release, you clearly need to break out your credit card and get this film. Because it's fantastic. As far as features, there is an audio commentary with Jack Taylor, and Jack Taylor plays the professor in this. He's better known as I consider him kind of Jess Franco's little buddy. I mean, all the little movies of Jess Franco and Paul Dashy, he was always kind of a wooden straight man in those films. But it was interesting listening to him talk about his career on this film. Another actor which you may recognize is the burly Paul Smith, who plays the red herring in this film. He's kind of the gardener that's walking around with a chainsaw, acting like he might be the killer, but he's not. He's better known for Midnight Express. He's kind of the beefy prison guard in Midnight Express that beats the crap out of the guy that was trying to smuggle drugs through Turkey. He's in this, and there's a full hour interview with him and his career in here. You've got another hour interview with, where's this other, let's see, you've got, well, with the director, I'm sorry, yeah, no, I just watched the damn thing. Director Jean-Pierre Simon. An hour interview with him. And then, if that's not enough, you've got a full length, well, I say full length, it's like 80 minutes, an 80-minute 42nd Street Memories documentary, which is great. I've seen a number of those documentaries, but this one was fantastic. It interviews all the key players: Sam Sherman, Larry Cohen, Frank Henenlotter, those type of people, and very interesting. So this is a loaded release. It comes with 3 discs. You've got 2 Blu-rays. One has the feature film, and then the other has the special, the extras. You've got reversible cover art. Well, here's the reversible cover art. There's Paul Smith. And then you've got a soundtrack of Italian, a selection of Italian music in this soundtrack. And then you've got a booklet which covers basically the guy that works for Deep Red, Chris Ballin, wrote a little overview of the film and how it impacted the early 80s. This film was like one of the top 5 grossing films in the 1983. I mean, so you know, it is also a testament to how well a film can do that through marketing and advertising. Well done marketing and advertising. I mean, this is a great example of what you can achieve economically by great advertising. So, at any rate, I love this movie. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I give the release a 10 out of 10. Highly recommended. So that's my review of The Pieces Grindhouse Blu-ray. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.